What's going on, folks? Adrian here, Director of Productivity and Head Coach at Thrive Agent Solutions at Keller Williams Realty North Gwinnett right here in Beaufort. Guys, I am so excited. I'm here with Mr. Todd Price of Perimeter Roofing, Priceless Nutrition. What else?
The Toddcast.
The Toddcast, which is a podcast y'all need to get into. And guys, I'm so excited. This guy is hyper successful in business. He has launched a couple of really great companies. Peak physical condition. I don't know if you can tell me. I rode my Peloton today. And, I think I picked up like a 20 pound dumbbell this morning. I was like, I'm gonna go see Todd, so I gotta get a little pump before I go. But anyway, we want to talk about business today. So a lot of times we talk about real estate on this channel, and today we're bringing Todd in, who's not a real estate agent. However, we met through Keller Williams because he became one of our vendor partners. How long ago was that? We were just talking about that.
I want to say probably 5 years ago. 4 to 5 years ago.
Yeah, something like that. I think I was a pretty new team leader at the time.
Yeah, and it's been going strong ever since.
Yeah. So when we met you guys, what was your company? What was the makeup? What was the size? How much volume were you guys doing then? And then we really want to get into what are y'all doing today?
Yeah. So I think we had just kind of started. So I had to kind of start from scratch. I had one company that I had for a couple years, and had a business partner that was kind of doing some shady stuff. So we were really successful. We were in 7 states. It was the same thing as a roofing company, and I walked away from it. Yeah. I said, I don't want any part of this. I don't want anything to do with it. It was right before my daughter was born, and she just turned 5. So it was five and a half years ago, and I said, I'm just going to start from scratch. And so that's what I did, and started over. And it was me, and I took Ray and Shannon with me, and we just hit the ground running. And it was just the 3 of us. And the 3 of us 5.5 years ago, and we've grown to over 100 people now.
Oh my gosh!
In multiple states.
So when we met you guys, there was literally 3 of you.
3, yeah, maybe 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're talking over 100 people now, multiple states.
Yep.
How much volume did y'all do last year?
Last year we did a little bit over 25 million.
25 million. How many roofs is that? How many rooftops?
A lot.
If you had the ballpark.
A lot. We do about 10 to 15 a day, so 50 to 75 a week.
Oh, wow. That's incredible.
You know, some roofs are $8,000. We did one job we finished up at the end of the year that was right at 1.4 million, I believe, for an apartment complex. So big variety of sizes, but you know, the volume it's nonstop.
Yeah, that's incredible.
So, but it's fun.
So that's a lot of rooftops.
Yep.
And I mean, you're talking about around a 5 to 7 year growth, and that is massive growth. Now, to people who may see you, they might, catch you today on Facebook or YouTube or somewhere, and might go, "Oh man, overnight success." That was a tough 5 to 7 years, though. It wasn't just like boom, easy peasy. Everybody's calling all day long.
Yeah, it was super tough 5 or 7 years, and super tough, 3 or 4 years before that, and then super tough 5 to 10 years before that. Okay. I didn't have anything. So it's been a constant grind, and now I try to better myself, better the company, better people that I'm around every single day. I try to hold myself to a higher standard and help anybody the best I can. I think that's the only way we're going to get better, and by working together.
Yeah.
I think way too many people in the world, I don't know if you want to call it greed or selfishness or what, or want to have power, but I think way too many people in the world just want to not help and just keep all their information, and then you're not valuable. I feel like if you help others, even if they're in the same industry as you, that's how you become valuable. That's how you network, and that's how you grow yourself. So,
man, and I got to tell you guys, like, you guys aren't just. There's a lot of people who talk a good game, especially when it comes to helping people, taking care of people. You guys have been front and center on Cares for Kids, the charitable organization that we work with. You've been front and center for any time we needed any type of donation or any type of support in the office for the agents, for a charity. I mean, you guys are like right there, front and center. So I do want to say thank you, man. Like that is
Absolutely.
an outstanding
We love it.
relationship, and you guys have always supported us. And a little bit deeper than that, I see some of your guys really supporting folks out there who are struggling, folks who battle addiction, who have rough pasts and rough histories, and giving them opportunities. And can you talk about that a little bit? Because I think that's an incredible thing too.
Yeah. So so I started the company, and I brought Ray in. Ray, one of my best friends, and brought him in as a partner along with Lance, who runs all of our crews. And all of us had a struggled with addiction in the past. And Ray, I think, is 9 years sober now. Me and him actually owned a recovery center together as well in Gainesville, to try to help men and women struggling with addiction. But November 1st was 11 years for me.
Wow.
And
Congratulations.
And I remember what it was like. And I don't remember all the moments. There's a lot that I don't remember.
Sure.
But I remember feeling, when you're that far down, feeling kind of hopeless, and just like that's all there is, and it's not going to get better. There's nothing better. This is just who I am. And that's kind of where I was. I can't speak for Ray or any of the other guys, but for me, it took hitting rock bottom and almost losing everything. And I was homeless. I didn't have nothing. I was sleeping on the streets. I was stealing hot dogs from QT to eat. Wow. And so I hit rock bottom, and I remember going home one day, November 1st, 11 years ago, and asking my parents, and this wasn't my parents' fault at all. I had the best parents in the world to give me. I screwed all this up on my own, and threw it all out the window. And I remember asking my mom if I could come back home, and I just broke down crying and kind of told her what I did. And I said, I'm never drinking it. Like, I'm never drinking again. Even if this is all there is for me, I'm never drinking again. And then from there, I didn't really look at the big picture as far as thinking that I'm going to be super successful, own a business, do this, do that. I just from there took it one day at a time. And that was the best thing that I could do for me, was just one day at a time, focus on getting better. And so as far as helping people, I feel like there's a lot of people that, the way I felt, as far as it's not going to get better, there's nothing better for me out there. I don't want them to hit rock bottom, because that's a terrible situation to be in. So if there's ever anything that we can do to kind of realign them and get them back on the right track and show them that there's hope, and give them faith and hope and kind of a kick in the butt and some tough love and teach them a trade to get them where they want to be and show them there's more to life. And get them away from that addiction, then we want to do that, because that helps both of us, But if we can save somebody's life that way, that's huge.
That's incredible, man.
So.
Wow. I think that on top of everything else that you guys have done, and the success and the financial gain and all those things, I mean, that right there, you can't put a price on that. That's priceless. I know that's your thing.
Yeah.
But that literally is priceless, man, to go out and literally provide opportunity and save lives, and give people something to live for, something to wake up and get excited about, to be able to look around and say, I mean, the self-esteem and pride that must provide to some of these guys that are near rock bottom or on rock bottom, and then all of a sudden I have this opportunity where y'all aren't just doing all right, y'all are thriving, like y'all are killing it. And I see the guys with I like that you guys do the big checks, when they have those killer weeks or those killer months. Like they're doing incredible things together with you, so that's really cool, man.
And they love it. Yeah,
that's really cool. So I think that really kind of tells us a little bit about your history. What drew you to roofing? Like, how did you get into this business?
So I grew up around construction. So before I kind of had my wild side, we'll call it. My dad built custom homes for 47 years. That's what he did. And so when I was younger, during the summers, I would go to work with him and just help pick up around the job site or whatever. And as I got older, I learned more and more, and he'd have me help more and more, be more hands-on. But then I got into the gym industry. That was my passion, my love. I got into it, and that's kind of when I started struggling with addiction and falling off the deep end, and kind of quit working for a while. I got back, finally once I got clean, I got back into the gym industry because that's what I knew, and that's what I was good at, was sales. And I kept having friends come to me and tell me that, man, as good as you are at sales and you know construction, like, you need to do this.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know about it,
Sure.
And so at first it was about the money, because I had a buddy that, he got into it and he started sending pictures of paychecks, and they kept getting bigger and bigger. And finally, and this was right before me and my wife got married, and we were still dating at the time, and I was like, man, if he can do it, like I can do it. Yeah. So I didn't even go to work for a company. I just started my own thing, and didn't make any money for 6-8 months, maybe. I don't know. My wife, maybe a little bit longer than that. And she was making like $400 a week. And we were trying to figure out what bills to pay, eating ramen noodles. We had a living room with no furniture in it. We'd sit on the floor and watch this little small TV. But we got by. And then finally we started doing better, and we just kept pushing through. And I told her, you're never going to have to work again. I'll do whatever I got to do to make sure you don't have to. But it definitely took a while. But that's kind of how I got into it. But then once I got into it, it was more than just the money. It was the fact that I can give back, that there's freedom. I'm not stuck in, even though I love the gym, I was stuck in one location from 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. And it was just tough. I was away from her, and thank God I have kids now, and I couldn't imagine being away from them that long. So having the freedom, the flexibility, the schedule, not being in the same place every single day, I can go to different places. It opened up a whole new world of possibilities.
Yeah.
So
what do you have to say to the people? Because I mean, I got to tell you, like, your story is unique because it's yours. And when I talk to high producers, top earners, people that run these mega companies, I hear these stories of adversity. I hear the stories over and over of eating ramen noodles, peanut butter sandwiches, sitting on the floor, sleeping in a sleeping bag. Like, what do you have to say to these people who they get into a business? Maybe they start a roofing business. Maybe it's a real estate business. And it doesn't happen overnight. They do it for 6 months, and then they give up, and they go back to working these jobs. Man, all the things that you described, freedom, flexibility, time for family. I mean, our company's God, family, then business. That's the way we operate. That's my belief system. I couldn't imagine not having the availability to be around my children. I always said, I don't want some other guy to be, coaching my kid how to swing a baseball bat. And I used to work in the restaurant business before I did this. What do you have to say? What do you have to say to those people that 6 months in, it doesn't seem to be working, and they lose hope and they stop grinding and they go back to those things that they really don't love and they don't want to be a part of?
Yeah, I think you just gotta, it's all about how bad you want it. And if you really want it that bad, 6 months really isn't that long of a time to put in effort. And especially if you're doing something where you're having to learn a skill or a trade and selling real estate or roofing or something along, you got a lot to learn in that process as well. So 6 months isn't really that long. And I think the biggest thing that I see, and from talking to other entrepreneurs or people that want to start businesses, is that they're either scared to fail, or then they fail and then they think that's just it. And my biggest thing is that I'm not going to quit no matter what it may be. And I've understood that I'm not the smartest at what I do by any means, but when I fail, that teaches me something. And all that is one more thing that I've learned to now, this doesn't work, so now let's try it this way. And that's how anybody learns. You just have to that's how dogs learn not to do certain, Like, you just have to keep trying until you find the way that works, and eventually you figure out what works. And what works for another roofing company doesn't work for us, and vice versa. What works for another realtor doesn't work for you, and vice versa. And so you got to learn what works for you and what's going to help excel you but you really have to put in, that the thought behind it too. It's not just, I think a lot of people think that I can just show up every day and in 6 months to a year it's going to happen, and that's not the case. I used to, with roofing and even back when I was in the gym industry, you know, I've always been in sales. So if I had an objection come up, whatever it may be, and I couldn't close that objection, after that, I sat back and I thought about how can I overcome that objection, and B, better yet, how can I have a presentation or present my product to where that objection doesn't even come up, to where I guide that conversation the entire way to where that objection is not even valid, you know? But I think too many people just think that I'm going to go get a business license and put the name on Facebook and we're good.
Slap the magnet on the truck.
That's it. Right. Yeah.
Get the cool logo. I know you mentioned that before. Get the cool logo. Slap the magnet on the truck and
keep
move
it running. Yeah.
And keep it running.
And it's not that easy. It's by any means.
So it sounds like you have a really good, a really healthy relationship with failure. Is what it sounds like.
I've failed a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. But I mean, but at the same time, I think so many people are scared to fail. And me, a lot of people care. We have social media now, and you know, Instagram and Facebook and whatever else, and everybody lives this one life on Instagram, to where they have all this stuff, and it's not who they really are in real life. They're really not that happy. They're really not that successful. Right. They're really not this or that or whatever. And it's just like you're lying to yourself, and you're living a life that's not really you, and so they don't want to have any failure that could possibly be put out there to the world in their perfect life, you know. And for me, I just don't care. Yeah. Like, it doesn't matter. If I fail, I fail. If I trip when I walk out of here, it doesn't matter to me. I look stupid and I get up and I laugh with y'all, and then we keep it moving.
There you go. I love it.
So you just have to, you can't worry about what people think.
Yeah. No, I agree. And social media can be such it is an amazing tool if you choose to use it that way. Or I think it can be the biggest detriment to your mentality, your mindset, and your success. And the comparison trap, you know, I can look at people online who seem to be doing better than me, and what they really might be better than me at is just presenting themselves that way.
That's it.
I just don't know what's going on.
That's one of the big things David Goggins says, you know, and I'm actually reading one of his books right now, and talking about mental toughness. And, you know, I think you have to, I was joking with my wife earlier, I posted a video last night, and I woke up this morning and it had like 40,000 something views, and so just tons of comments. And you know, there's a lot of people saying like nice things, but obviously then there's some like coming in and talking trash. There's a video of me working out, and so there's some coming in and talking trash, and I just laugh at it, whatever. But I told her to get on there because there were some people picking on me, and she laughed. But it's just I love it. I love it. Too many people let that kind of stuff bother them, and then they don't want to post another video because they're scared they're going to get negative. To me, I don't care. I'm just going to post another one. Yeah, it doesn't matter. You're following my page. You like me for a reason. Are
you familiar with Gary V? Gary Vaynerchuk?
100%.
All right, I was listening.
Got pictures with him.
Oh, for real?
Yeah,
I love that. I want to meet that dude. I love that dude.
Super cool.
And so. I was listening to a podcast. I just got a haircut, jumped in the car, 30-minute drive home, turned it on, and he was like, let me tell you, he's like, as somebody who gets thousands of horrible comments about him every single day, he said, you can't get mad at those. He said, you got to feel bad. Yeah, he said, you got to feel bad for those people. He said, they follow your page and take time to go. You've heard this, right? Yep. You must have just listened to this. And he goes, how horrible is that person's life that they have time to do this? And I was like...
All you can do is feel sorry for them.
I've never thought about it that way, and I thought that was such a great outlook on. Because, dude, like it's rare because I don't have as many followers and I don't have 40,000 views. But every now and then somebody will put something sideways on something I post, and I'm like, wow, man, that's kind of rough. Like, what's this dude's problem, you know?
And it can be on anything. Yeah, random. But you know, it's funny because sometimes I'll scroll through just to kind of look, and based off what you just mentioned about Gary Vee and how bad their life may be, and how you have to feel sorry for them. Yeah. And like I'll click on some of the people that just randomly, some of the people that are saying really nice things. Yeah. And they're posting video after video, and it's all positivity and this and that. And then some of the people that are posting negative things, and they might have one video or 5 videos. They don't have any content because they're embarrassed of themselves. Right. So I feel like they take their insecurities and project them onto other people.
It's a reflection of what they are, not what you are. That's a really good way to look at it. Tell me about Tell me about some of the biggest lessons you've learned in business. You guys obviously have had massive growth and continue to grow and expand in multiple territories. What's some of the biggest lessons you've learned?
A few of the biggest lessons I would say are obviously don't give up. No matter how many times you fail, if it's something that you truly want to do and want to go after, don't give up no matter what. Don't listen to any sort of negative outside, feedback. Another thing I would say would probably be just knowing that you have to have patience, and you have to, like I said before, you got to just take it one day at a time and know that a lot of people want that overnight success because on Instagram it looks like
overnight.
Different people have had overnight, but they don't see everything that's gone into and so I feel like you can't have that mindset going into business. You have to know that you're going to have to knuckle down and really put in the work for a little while. And probably one of the biggest things is don't grow too fast. So I feel like a lot of people focus on being busy and not productive, and a lot of people focus on moving fast, but they might not be moving in the right direction. So if I have something that I want to accomplish, I don't care if it takes me a day, a year, or 10 years. I just want to make sure that I'm constantly moving towards the right direction, because a lot of times people will be doing things and it's making you backpedal. And I've been there. We've done that.
Sure.
So those would be the biggest tips that I could have from a business standpoint.
Yeah, I love it, man. It's all good stuff. I've got a whole list of questions here, y'all. We got some time. Your industry, much like real estate, ultra competitive. I mean, it really does feel like every day I drive by another truck with another logo.
Yeah.
I will say none of them are as big as your trucks. However, I drive by and I swear I see them all over the place. And look, I'm a big believer, like, y'all start businesses, like, that's awesome, but it's ultra competitive. How do you guys stay on top in an industry that, much like real estate, I mean, appears to be a pretty low barrier of entry? It looks like, a lot of people can get in if they want to.
Well, you are right. And to touch on that a little bit, so like, we're licensed in Florida. Florida is a very tough license, and we have our license in Florida, and it's because there's hurricanes down there, and they don't want people from Georgia or whatever coming down when there's a hurricane, taking everybody's money, running off, and and having some sort of insurance scam. So to get licensed in Florida is very tough, but you have to be licensed, and then you have to pull a permit on every job. In order to pull a permit on every job, you have to have a license. In Georgia, you do not have to have a license. My mom could go start a roofing company if she wants. I love her more than anything in the world. Doesn't know a thing about roofing.
Sure.
So a lot of people get into the industry, do it for, a day, a week, a month, whatever. Just like some realtors might see you and say, man, he makes this look so easy. I could do this on my own, and then they go try to start the same kind of thing. So, and they go get a business license for $150, and they start a Facebook page and find a crew at Home Depot.
Sure.
And then they take off running, and we are working on with a lot of, because obviously we don't have a ton of pull. We're just a small business, but we are working with a lot of manufacturers. I've actually gotten in touch with the insurance commissioner, left messages for them, as well as another branch of government here in Georgia, to try to fight for licensing in Georgia as well, because with all the competition, you have a lot of fraud, vandalism, people running off with checks, people dipping out on invoices that they owe to suppliers. So it protects everybody. One, that's why roofers have such a bad rap, so it reinstates that validity for us. But two, it helps the supply houses. It prevents them from having huge tabs that people run off on. It prevents the insurance companies from paying out fraudulent leads or having people run off with checks. It protects homeowners, having people run off with checks. There's a huge advantage to it. But with that, the way we stay ahead is you can get a voluntary license in Georgia. Mm-hmm. So I do have my voluntary license. I have a lot of other certifications. Any certification, continuing education, anything that I come across that I can get related to what we do, I do. I also do as much public speaking or going live on Facebook or things of that nature. There's a Win the Storm conference.
I just saw that. That's pretty cool.
So yeah, it's next month in Dallas. Mm-hmm. I know, I can't remember the football player's name, but Wolf of Wall Street, what's his name? He's going to be speaking there. But so I'm one of the keynote speakers there. Yeah. So I try to stay in the limelight, if you want to call it. I want to try to stay on people's minds. And then we just try to stay as up to date with as much as possible. You know, we started the Perimeter Pro Wash, which is, we got a drone that's 6 foot wide. It's huge.
I saw that video. It's incredible. It's incredible. If you guys haven't seen this, you got to check out their Facebook page.
It will actually.
This thing's intense.
It will lift 160 pounds.
Yeah.
6 foot wide. It's got like 6 or 8 blades on it, but it can go up and do soft washes on church steeples, roofs, whatever. So we did that to incorporate, just to add another, and not even that I expect to make any money off of that business.
Sure.
It's just another way to market what we do already and get more attention. So we try to stay, same thing with solar. We added solar. We've done a decent amount of solar jobs. Not nearly as many as we've done roofs, obviously.
Sure.
But it's just another way to add another avenue to get more roofs. So, but I would say the biggest thing that we've done is just, and it's one of our core values is our integrity, and I feel like that's where a lot of people fall, as easy as it is just to have good moral compass and integrity.
You would think.
Like we always try to do the right thing, and we want to give back to the community, and we want to, we like money. Don't get me wrong.
Of course.
Everybody does. It's what makes the world go round. But at the same time, so do other people, and it's not fair if I see somebody that is struggling not to help them out. That's not, in my mind, that's not fair. So, we try to give back to kids, elderly, single moms, whoever we can, and I feel like it's, a lot of people will say it's just a marketing scheme and whatever, call it what you want, but I'm putting my money somewhere that's actually helping people, and I feel like that's beneficial, and I feel like it's good karma, and that's been huge for us.
I don't, and I've heard those naysayers in the past myself, man. And doing good and doing well are two different things and are not mutually exclusive. So I can do good for you, and I can do well at the same time. Mm-hmm. Like there's two sides to every coin, and I think that's what I think that's awesome.
We have our nonprofit Perimeter Cares, where we pay off school lunch debt, and with COVID they started doing free lunches. So now we've had to kind of transgress into some other avenues of different ways to help kids with backpack challenges and books and things of that nature. But in 2 years we paid over $100,000 to pay off school lunch debt, in addition to other things, in addition to Christmases and Thanksgiving and different stuff to give back, and pajama drives and for foster kids and whatever else. We paid over $100,000, and we got backlash for it, and I didn't listen to any of it. I don't care.
It's those same people that comment on your other videos, man. They're just miserable. They're just miserable.
$100,000 into billboards, and not help anybody. But I'd much rather help people.
Yeah. So. Well, and it's funny, man, because you're right. If you did put $100,000 into a billboard, into 20 billboards on 85, just one right after the other,
nobody cares.
People would drive by and nobody would say a word about it. They'd be like, "Wow, that guy's got a lot of billboards." You put $100,000 into paying off kids' lunches, and you got critics.
Yeah. It's wild.
It's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
It's wild.
That's insane. Let's talk about your health, man. Let's talk about you are obviously in peak physical condition. Y'all, I know the sweatshirt's hiding a little bit, but like if you check out the workout videos, it's got a little bit of mass under there, right? A little bit.
Oh, okay.
And so I was fascinated with your competition, man. Your bodybuilding competition. like, I remember a few months before it started when you kind of mentioned a few things online and you were hitting the gym real hard. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, like, this dude looks like one of these dudes on TV. Like, you know, that was pretty cool. So tell me about that. What drives you to get to that peak level of health and conditioning? Because that's not ordinary, man. That is completely unordinary.
So it's a little bit obsessive. So a couple different things. So one, you know, I used to bodybuild when I was younger. When I was 18, 19, 20, I was bodybuilding a decent amount. When I was 19, I won the overall at the Atlanta.
Okay.
And was just a big kid, and I've always worked out. I was in the gym industry, and then I had kind of my downtime when I was struggling, and then got my life back in order and got married, and after my first child was born, my daughter, I was looking back at pictures and I was like, because I took, you know, all I was doing was I was restarting this company,
yeah,
and then coming home and playing with her.
Yeah.
You know, so that's all there was. There was nothing else. And
Yeah.
eating whatever I could get my hands on.
Sure.
So
I can relate.
Yeah. So I remember looking at pictures, and even now I had one where I did a side by side of right before my show, and then one beside, and I'm like, man, how did I let myself get like this? And so I started back working out, and I started back working out hardcore, still eating whatever I want, but was working out hardcore. So I bulked back up to about 292, and but had a gut. I was just a real stocky guy, and I told my wife, I said, I want to get back. I want to cut down, because nobody wants to admit it, but we're all self-conscious about different things.
Sure.
And I've always looked in the mirror. It's the first thing you do every morning. You look in the mirror, and anytime you look in the mirror, I don't care what anybody says, you judge yourself.
Sure.
You judge your outfit, you judge the way your hair looks, you judge the way your body looks.
Right.
You judge yourself. It's the whole point of the mirror. And
I'm gonna remove all the mirrors in my house.
So you want to be happy with what you see. If you're not happy with what
sure.
you see, you're not going to be happy in life. You're not going to be productive. You're not going to, So I told her, I said, I want to try to do a show again. It's been 15 years since I've done a show. So I was already working out hardcore. I just wasn't eating right. So I changed my diet, cut some weight, finally got on a program, and was like, all right, here's the show I'm going to do. I'm this far out. Let's run it. And we figured out a diet. I started working with a coach, and figured out a diet to get me there, and the amount of cardio, and obviously it increased as we went. And I competed. I got first in Georgia. I won the Battle of the Belt for all the Georgia bodybuilders, and then I got third in the overall show. And that was my first time back in 15, 16 years competing.
That's awesome.
And so now I'm back mentally, like, full. I have every meal in my book bag in a cooler, cooked out, planned out, weighed out. So it's eat, sleep, breathe.
Yeah.
It's what I love. But one of the biggest things, besides the passion that I and the fact that I really enjoy it, is the discipline that goes along with it. So, and right now I'm bulking up, so my discipline is my cardio in the morning for 25 minutes, and then my meals. Every single meal weighed out and exactly what it is. But when you're cutting down for a show for 16 weeks, 20 weeks, 24 weeks, whatever it may be, and you're starving, every single meal is on point. You're doing hour of cardio in the morning before breakfast, another hour at night after your workout. So you're going to work, you've got all your meals, then going to the gym, working out, then doing another hour of cardio, then coming home, having 2-3 more meals. Everything is weighed out to a T, and to me, it just shows you, one, what you're capable of doing, because a lot of people don't realize what they're capable of. I think mentally they just hold themselves back. But two, it invokes so much discipline into your life, and you realize that if I can do this, it carries over into business or with family or anything, and you give it all you got. So you know, it really kind of lit another fire under my ass, so to speak, to where, you know, when I'm working out, I'm working out. When I'm at work, I'm working. When I'm with my family, I'm with my family. And I'm extremely disciplined in those things. And so for that reason, I think it keeps me like sane, so to speak. I think it keeps me focused in all aspects. And, you know, one of the biggest things, David Goggins, he said, you know, if you roll over in the morning and you hit your alarm clock and you hit snooze, you've immediately failed for the day. You know, that's the first action of the day and you've already failed.
Yeah.
You didn't get up. And, you know, that really hit me hard because I've noticed there's been days, because trust me, 6 days out of 7 of the week, I don't want to get up. Trust me, really.
Guilty.
Yes. So
I think that's all of us, man.
100%. And, but it hit home because I'm like, man, he's so right, because you make that first failure and then you're like, well, I already didn't do cardio today, so I'll just make today an off day. I won't work out. And then since today's an off day, I'll go ahead and have a bulk meal, cheat meal, since it's my cheat day anyways too. And then it piles up. So for me, I've just learned that when my alarm clock goes off, and now I wake up before my alarm clock because I've done it for so long, but when my alarm clock goes off, it's just, this is what we do. And if I don't feel like getting up, I count down from 5 and I'm up.
Yeah.
That's just mentally, I know, okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, up.
Yeah.
And it's just put shoes on, shorts, do my cardio, start making all my meals for the day, and then get ready. So it's a discipline thing for me that transpires into all aspects of life.
There's a book out there, I don't remember who wrote it, or about the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 counting down. I don't know if you just come up with that yourself.
Okay.
There's like a whole thing out there about that I've heard before. It's like when you have to make those situations, just count down 5, 4, 3, and just go, just do it. And man, I tell you, I'm guilty.
Yeah.
You know, hit that snooze, and what you just described about, well, I've already missed that, so I guess today I'll just be an off day, and then it usually ends with pizza and really bad state of mind, honestly, because it's like it starts off as a failure, but then the failure compounds, and then you reach the end of the day and you go, good Lord, what did I do today? Like, what did I even do? Because that just permeates your day. So I
it makes me think too about there's the one, I believe there's a Marine that gives a speech, and he starts it off by saying, making your bed. And it's a task completed. And one task completed leads to another task completed. And I think that's huge because it's so true. Because I don't feel like doing cardio, but as soon as I stand up on my feet, I'm ready.
Yeah.
You know, but it's just that getting out of bed. There was another thing that I think, I don't remember where I saw it, but I think it was a documentary, and it was a guy that studied psychology, and the reason we're, as adults, majority of the time, are so quote-unquote tired and don't want to hop up out of bed is because we don't have anything to look forward to. And he related it back to being a kid, and Christmas morning you'd always hop up because you knew you'd get up earlier too, and you were so excited because you knew Santa came, and there were presents in this, and so he relates it to that, but it's in the sense of, you know, like, you've got to build a life to where you wake up and you have something to look forward to where you jump out of bed like that, you know, and that hit home and spoke volume, because I remember waking up, I still wake up at Christmas and I'm like, let's see the kids' faces. You know what I mean? Like, I'm excited. I'm more excited than they are.
For us, I think it's like the first day of like going on a vacation.
Yeah.
That's how that's immediately what I thought about. That's the day I wake up and I'm like, all right, it's go time.
Yeah.
Right? Like, everything's packed. The plan is made. Everybody in the car. Let's get going. Yeah. Because we got to get to that beach as quick as possible.
And have as much time as possible.
And man, that's such a good outlook, man. That's such a good way to look at it. And the reality is, I think a lot of us have those things in our lives that do excite us. It's
just not every day.
It's not every day. And also, man, it's the mindset. It's like the habit of hitting. And look, my biggest problem is this guy. Like, I'll wear this thing to track the sleep. It's a smartwatch. And the alarm will ring, and I don't even have to reach over. I just go, boop.
Oh, yeah.
And I hit the snooze button on the watch.
It easier. It's more convenient.
And it's even easier. And I'm like, dang, I got to take this watch off, bro. Like, I can't keep this watch on at night anymore.
So, like, every night, you know, what I try to do is I always try to, every day write down wins that I've had.
Yeah.
And this is something that I've learned from, I'm in a group called Apex, Ryan Stewman leads. And met a ton of very, very successful people in there. And, but they ask you to write down, 5 things that you're grateful for, a win that you had that day, what you focused your time on, a couple other things. And so while I'm doing that, I always try to think about the next day and like what I have planned and how I can take this or that to the next level. And it might not be business. It might be my workout. I have a leg workout and I'm super excited about it. I want to see if I can do more weight than I did whatever it may be. But I do something. I try to think of something that's going to make me jump out of bed in the morning.
Yeah.
To have that feeling, to have that excitement, that motivation, that drive. Because I really don't believe in motivation. It comes and goes.
Yeah.
I believe in discipline, and that's why discipline's so important to me, because it's structured. And no matter how you feel, you got to go do it.
I love that, man. I think that's incredible. So tell me about Priceless Nutrition. You launched your own line of supplements and health products.
Yep. So being in the fitness industry forever and just loving fitness, the only other real business that I would really, really have a passion for besides the nutrition would be opening a gym, which that's something that I want to do as well. But I wanted to have my own brand of supplements that I trusted, that I knew how they performed, I knew what was in them, I knew how they were going to act and make it. And there's just so many things out on the market these days that aren't third-party tested. Like all my stuff is third-party tested, that might not even be made in an FDA-approved lab. Makes you super jittery. That's one of the biggest things I hear. Does this make you jittery? And I wanted something that gave you energy and didn't make you jittery. I wanted quality protein that mixed real well. I wanted high-quality BCAAs. I wanted really, really high-quality products, and it tasted great, but at an affordable price. And then I wanted my name on it, just because it's what I love, you know. And so I launched it 6-8 months ago.
Okay.
And been doing really, really well with it. And I love it. I get questions asked all the time. I've been doing a lot of filming for it. Got a lot of big plans coming up for it. Some new products that we're working on as well, that are in development. But it's been a learning curve for me. I don't know all the ins and outs of that aspect. So working with a chemist and learning the different background, just saying I think this tastes good and this is what I wanted to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then have them do it, and then we make some changes. So it's been really fun, but I love it.
I just caught your commercial. I don't know if it was TikTok or I don't know where I saw it, man. Maybe Facebook. It was really well done. Yeah. It was really a great commercial. And the products look great. I'll have to get in there and give it a try. I'm just starting my own physical journey after years of doing nothing. So I'll have to tap you for some information on that.
Anything I can do
in the near future.
I got you.
All right. Well, let's talk about long-term vision, man. What is the long-term grand vision for your life, for your business? Where do we go from here?
Long-term, I want to eventually kind of step back from day-to-day operations in all the businesses. And I really want to... I never really want to retire in a sense, because I'd go crazy. But I want to focus more on, I just started working on writing a book, and I want to do more public speaking. Right now I do about one event a month. I would like to do more and travel more and really try to educate people and motivate people and show them that, no matter where you come from or what your goals are, that you can get there, because 10, 15 years ago, I never would have thought that I would own a house even.
Sure.
I remember having a car payment that was $400 a month and it got repossessed because I couldn't afford it. You know what I mean? I was like, or I'd spend the money on alcohol and whatever. So to see where I was then and where I'm at now, I never would have thought that. So just to kind of give people, hope and show them that there is something else out there, and there are people that care. Like, I think that's huge, and I enjoy speaking. I enjoy getting out and meeting people and networking. That's huge for me. I love the events that we do with the realtors and just speaking to all them and getting to meet all them. Like, I love that kind of stuff. So I'd really like to focus more of my time on that.
That's awesome. I love it. I mean, what I hear over and over, man, in this conversation is the desire to help others, the desire to pour into others, to see others succeed. And it goes back, I think it was Jim Rohn, if you help enough people get what they want, you always get what you want.
Correct.
And I don't know if that was your mission from the beginning on purpose, but that's exactly what you seem to have done throughout the last several years, is helping so many other people get what they want. And then what you wanted automatically showed up as a result. I think that's incredible.
Yeah. And I just have a passion for helping people because, like I said, I've been down and out, and if I can help anybody in any way, I want to. Yeah. And especially people that deserve it. It's just crazy how, like we were talking about the ignorant comments, but it's just crazy how rude and unnecessary some things are that people do nowadays. And so when you have somebody that's really putting in the work, or really doing everything the right way, or really a kind person just down on their luck or whatever it may be, like, I want to help that person, so you don't see too many people like that anymore that are genuinely good people. It's hard to find. So when I do come across them, I want to help however I can.
Yeah, so. I love it. Well, that's awesome, man. I think that covers everything. Is there anything that you'd like to share with anybody that could possibly come across this? And look, we're gonna extract the audio. We're gonna go podcast, YouTube, Facebook. We're gonna be all over the place with this. So, what would you like as kind of a final statement?
No final. It's just whatever. I mean, my biggest thing as far as kind of what we spoke about today, whatever dreams that you may have, goals that you may have, go after them. It's your life. You only have one life. You only have one at bat. Do what you want to do. Don't let anybody tell you can't do it, no matter where you come from, where you grew up, what your background may be. Go after your goals and don't quit for anything. If you need to reach me, my website is officialtoddprice.com. It also has links to all of my companies, as well as my Calendly if you want to schedule a meeting or anything along those lines. Any roofing issues, www.perimeterroofing.com. If you are interested in nutrition, www.priceless-nutrition.com. And thank you guys for having me.
That about covers it. Awesome. Guys, thanks for watching. Look, man, we're going to keep in touch, keep this conversation going.
Love it.
Thank you so much for doing this. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned. More to come.